Hector Gomez earlier today, he did say that the Dodgers were the front runner over the Red Sox, the Angels, and the Mariners. So Hector Gomez, he was right on the money there. And Jim Bowden, he had actually said today that he talked to Andrew Friedman, joined MLB Network Radio, and said that they were focused on acquiring a right-handed hitting outfielder that can crush left-handed pitching and hold his own against righties. I think this is a great move for the Dodgers. I think it's a very good move for the Dodgers. I've been saying, sure, yeah, they added Ohtani, you added Yamamoto. They needed something for this lineup. That sounds a little crazy. I know that because you got Ohtani, right? But I felt like you needed a little bit more towards the bottom of the order. I felt like you needed a right-handed bat somewhere in here just to provide extension to the lineup. And overall, I think this is a really solid signing. And the Dodgers listened to me. Not me. They listened to Robbie Claus. If you go back to one gift did Robbie Claus give the Dodgers Teoscar Hernandez? I think so, if I remember correctly. I've been saying I thought a right-handed bat would be great for him. Oh, I can't find it. I think I did. I think Robbie Claus did give Teoscar Hernandez to the Dodgers, but it's a perfect signing for them. It's a one-year deal. Yeah, they're paying a little bit. Most of it's deferred, though. So they're essentially paying him. So let me make sure I have this correct. We are just breaking some news, everyone. Teoscar Hernandez is going to the Dodgers. So 8.5 is going to be deferred. So basically, 23.5 minus the 8.5, that's $15 million. It's $15 million right there, basically. So that's pretty much what people were saying, is that you're looking at around like a $15 million AAV. Well, he's basically getting that, right? But they're going to be deferring it, the 8.5, from the 2030 to 2039. So he basically got $15 million. That's pretty much where everyone was saying Teoscar was, that was the range that he was going to get for an AAV, and he pretty much did get that. So they said, all right, we'll give you 8.5. And actually, how much percent is that? So 8.5 divided by 23.5. So he's basically getting a little over 35% extra deferred. So that's not bad. Hey, good for Teoscar, man. That's a great deal for him and great for the Dodgers. I think this is a really good deal for them. Again, not being tied down. They're going to go for it this year. Teoscar, here's the thing with Teoscar Hernandez. I can't wait for Red Sox fans to melt about this one. Is Red Sox Twitter freaking out right now? Can someone please go to Red Sox Twitter, go check out all the accounts like Tyler Milliken, Jared Carabas? Can we go check those accounts? Are they just off the rails right now? I guarantee they are. Guarantee it. Red Sox Twitter's freaking out right now. So as for Teoscar Hernandez, hit 258 last year, the 305 on base, the 435 slugging, 105 WRC plus, 26 home runs, still pretty solid overall. And with Teoscar Hernandez, he has been declining the last few years. However, I think this is a really good home for him because Jason Hayward, look what happened with him. Jason Hayward, Teoscar Hernandez is already in a way better place than Jason Hayward was. But look what they did with Jason Hayward. They completely turned that guy around. Let's see if they can get Teoscar Hernandez back on the right track, just like they've done with other players like Jason Hayward, like Ryan Brazier. Oh, Ryan Brazier, I miss you, my friend. I miss you. See, I stuttered when I started saying him because I miss him so much. 20 legend, Red Sox Twitter is calmer than baby sheep. Really? I don't think Red Sox Twitter should be mad about this one. I don't think I would have given $23 million to Teoscar Hernandez. I really don't think I don't think I really would have done that for 1 year. I know Red Sox fans are going to start complaining. Oh, the ownership isn't giving him money. Why couldn't you give him $25 million? I'm not giving $25 million to Teoscar Hernandez. Absolutely not. Not doing that. No. Just saying. Victor, I am not hating on the Dodgers. Victor, what are we talking about? Where am I hating on the Dodgers? I have literally just said, like 20, 30 seconds ago, this is a great signing for the Dodgers. What? Am I missing something? Am I hating on the Dodgers? What is going on? Where am I hating on the Dodgers? This is a great signing for the Dodgers. This is exactly what they need. You get him for, you're not tied down to him. You get him for 1 year. Yeah, you got to pay him some more money down the road, but whatever. The Dodgers don't care about that. This gives them extension in the lineup, and they have a history of bringing players in and getting them back on track. I'm not saying Teoscar Hernandez had necessarily a bad year last year, but when you look at the years that he's had in 21, 22, and then compared to 23, yeah, his numbers have been declining a little bit. The slugging has gone down almost 100 points from 21. The on-base has gone down about 40 points since 21. Batting average has gone down about 40 points since 21. Yeah, so, I mean, he's trending in the wrong direction, right? But I think the Dodgers can absolutely get him in the right direction. I'm just saying. But yes, Victor Fuentes, maybe I am hating on the Dodgers. I can't stand it. They take Mookie Betts away from me. They take Teoscar Hernandez away from my Red Sox. Can they just stop it? Please? Please. Can the Dodgers just let the Red Sox just have someone? We need someone. I'm just saying. They took JD Martinez away. Well, I guess I wasn't completely sad over that one, but just come on. Can we just stop it? Stop it. Here we go. But I really do like this signing. I do. I thought the Dodgers were a great fit for him. I thought, in the beginning of the offseason, I thought maybe he could go back to the Mariners on like a 1-year deal. But as the offseason started progressing and you started seeing the Mariners making other moves, that quickly went out the door, right? But great signing for the Dodgers. I think it's a solid move. What do they do next? What could... A. Joels, I see you in the chat. They took Manny away too. I think Red Sox fans, I think they were okay. I don't think they took Manny away. I think we gave Manny to the Dodgers. So I know there's got to be more examples out there. Anyway, but what do the Dodgers do next? What do they do? I think the Dodgers, if there is one place they could do something with this team, I think it is the bullpen. Bullpen was good last year. But Ryan Brazier, Red Sox legend and Dodgers legend, no longer in the bullpen unless they bring him back. I think if the Dodgers, if they're really going crazy here, I mean, I'm sorry. You go get yourself someone for the back end of the bullpen. I like Evan Phillips. Really good year last year. But could you imagine you put Phillips back there? I mean, maybe put Hader back there. Or could you go trade for Emmanuel Clase? I think that's possible, right? I mean, looking at the Dodgers payroll as of right... Excuse me. Looking at the Dodgers payroll as of right now, they are almost at $300 million. I mean, listen, you're already almost at the 300 mark now. You might as well just blow through it. Does it really matter at this point? Just blow through it. You're going to defer, like, how much money of it anyway? I mean, good grief. I'm just saying. My goodness. How much money are they going to be owing down the road? I don't know. But with the Dodgers, they have a ton of money coming off the books next year. Well, Teoscar Hernandez now will be coming off the books next year. Muncy, Kelly, Margot probably coming off. You got some club options here in Rojas and Barnes. You got some arbitration players, Buehler, Yarbrough, Ferguson. So they do have quite a big chunk of change coming off the books. Hey. Good for them, man. Good for them. I think this is a great signing for the Dodgers. And Chris Cotillo actually just put something out. Let me pull that up here. So remember, the Red Sox were involved. Again, this is not a Red Sox show, but the Red Sox were involved here, so I am going to bring up the Red Sox. And I'm I'm actually stunned that Red Sox Twitter is not just down in. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know Red Sox Twitter is going to go up in frickin' flames over this one. So Chris Cotillo here, he said the Red Sox weren't competitive at the end for Teoscar Hernandez, with discussions centering around 2-year, $28 million. I think that's for what Teoscar. Listen, Teoscar Hernandez basically got a 1-year, $15 million deal. That's what he basically got. But the Dodgers said, hey, we'll give you this much from this year to this year. I mean, why, if you're Teoscar Hernandez, why not do that? Right? So he's gonna be getting that money. Let me pull that up here. So Passan, I believe, said it was from 2030 to 2035. Could be wrong. Let me go back to that. Passan, where are you? So Passan said here that $8.5 million. So he's basically going to be getting like $1 million a year for 9 years or 10 years. Almost $1 million per year, 800,000 per year. I mean, if that's me, what do I do? Do I take a 2-year deal for $14 million per year? Or do I take a 1-year deal, basically get $15 million, and then next year I can go back out on the market? I could maybe improve my stock a little bit because his numbers have been declining. I can go back out in the market, get a good deal, and then down the road, I'm getting like $800,000 per year. And at that point, he's probably retired, maybe close to retirement at that point. Yeah. If I'm Teoscar Hernandez, I'm giving him that too. Or if I'm Teoscar Hernandez, I'm taking that too. Who wouldn't take that? I would take that because it's not that the Dodgers are locked down with Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez is now not locked down with one team. So, and I think this is a smart move for him. And I'm sorry to keep bringing up the numbers. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. But again, he's been trending in the wrong direction. Batting average, on base, slugging, WRC plus. Even the base running have come down. The defense hasn't been, his defense has never really been that good, but in 21, it wasn't horrible. It was a little below average, but it's gotten even worse over the next couple of years. If I'm Teoscar Hernandez, I'm going to really take this offseason, get myself in good playing shape. Let's go. Let's get ready for this season. Let's see if the Dodgers can maybe tweak a couple of things, get him back perhaps to what he was doing that 2021 season. I would say if you could get him somewhere between, even if he did that 2022 season, I think I would take that. If you can get, a 270 average on base, maybe like 330, slugging at like a 480, 490, 25, 30 home runs, I think that's fine. I think that's a good year. I would be happy with that, right? And if he can get those numbers, and I think that's great. The one problem with Teoscar Hernandez is, again, the numbers have been declining, but one reason for that is he chases a lot of swing and misses, which don't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but they can lead to poor results down the road. But he still hits the crap out of the ball. There's no problem there. Good barrels, good exit velocity, good hard hit percentage, but he chases a lot. He swings and misses a lot. He strikes out a lot. He doesn't walk enough. I would say if you can just get him to, if you can maybe get that chase percentage up, maybe, I don't know, get it up to like 40, 50%. I think that would be doable. Well, maybe not. In 2021, he was at the 26th percentile. If you can get him back up 25, 30%, I think that's a win. Don't chase as much. I think that would be a good deal. Yeah, funny enough, he actually had a pretty good chase percentage back in 2019. So, hey, let's see what the Dodgers can do, man. Let's see what the Dodgers can do. And you know what? Let's go take a look at Hayward. Right? Did I spell that wrong? Let's see how Jason Hayward's advanced numbers came back up. And again, remember, let's go back to these comments here from Jim Bowden or from Andrew Friedman telling Jim Bowden is that they were looking for a right-handed hitting outfielder that can crush left-handed pitching. So it looks like they're probably going to put Hernandez more in those left-handed pitching roles, right? He's probably going to be sharing. He's still going to go up against righties, but I would see Hayward is probably going to get a lot of those at-bats too. So I still think Teoscar is going to get a lot of at-bats. Nonetheless, he's going to be the number one guy out there. But I could definitely see Hayward obviously getting in there against righties a lot, right? But Teoscar, these comments right here, this pretty much says they're going to put him in a good position, put him in a position of strength. That's what the Dodgers do, right? They see what you're good at, and they just have you do that, right? And Teoscar obviously did well he's always done well against left-handed pitching. But going back to Jason Hayward here, if we go back to 2022, he didn't really play he only had 151 plate appearances. As you can see here, all of his advanced numbers were down, right? 2021, not very good, right? Now, if you go back to this year, they were all up a little bit, right? As you can see, if you take a look here, go back to 2021, whiff percentage was in the 58th percentile. K percentage was in the 64th. 2022, they were down further. But then this past year, they got it back up. So I wonder if they could actually do the same thing with Teoscar Hernandez, right? Get some, teach him a bit more patience, right? I think that could definitely happen. All right, they did the same thing with Hayward last year. So let's see. But overall, great signing for the Dodgers. I think their next move most likely is going to be something for the bullpen. If they do make another move, could this be their offseason? I feel like there's one more move left. I feel like you did bring in Kelly. That was, you got him back. So, but I feel like you're probably adding something else for this bullpen, whether that's trade for someone like Clase. Could you bring Jansen back? Would Jansen maybe go back to the Dodgers? I don't know. I feel like at this point, probably the Dodgers, they probably just want to move on. Maybe. I don't know. Do they go out and spend more money on Hader? Or do they go for a more cost-efficient option like Clase, who's going to cost you a good amount of prospects? Listen, man, I'm just saying, if you could go get Bieber and Clase in a package, maybe send back Sheehan, send back a couple more prospects like Pages and maybe like Michael Bush. Could you imagine? You got this lineup now. You got a rotation with Bieber at the back end of it. And then you got a closer like Clase. That's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. This Dodgers team, they are looking rather good. Rather good. And that's right now. And they're not even done yet, I think. And then they're going to get Dustin May maybe back by the end of the year. I don't know. Who knows? But this is a really good looking Dodgers team. What else is there to say, man? What else is there to say? But let's talk about some other things. Let's start moving on a little bit from this. You know what? Like I say, I was gonna talk first. Funny thing, I was gonna talk about the Yankees first off on this, but now because of this, I think it's a good pivot point to actually talk about my Red Sox here, because the Red Sox were in the mix for Teoscar Hernandez. And let's talk about what they do next. Very interesting here, right? So going back to the Chris Cotillo tweet. So the Red Sox weren't competitive at the end for Teoscar Hernandez, with discussions centering around 2 years, $28 million. Could there maybe have been some deferred money there? Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? If I'm Teoscar, though, I'm taking that deal. And if I'm the Red Sox, honestly, I don't know, man. Like, I think for the Red Sox, the thing with the Red Sox is, and I've been seeing a lot of Red Sox fans out there saying, why don't you just go sign Teoscar Hernandez now and then go trade Jansen and then get rid of payroll after? The problem with that, and hey, like Tyler Milliken, I love you, my friend, and I saw him tweet about this the other day. He basically said the same thing. Just go sign Teoscar now, then go trade the players because you have all offseason to do that. Well, the problem with that, I understand the thinking behind that, but you don't want, because things are always so fluid, right? Things are always moving. Things are always changing. You never know what could or couldn't happen, right? So if you sign Teoscar now, let's say they sign Teoscar Hernandez 1 year, $25 million to beat out the Dodgers. Let's say they did that, right? Let's say deferred money too, right? Let's say they defer $9 million. They're paying Teoscar like $16 million this year. The problem there is the Red Sox payroll is already right around $200 million. Ownership doesn't want them to go above the CBT. That's a different argument. That's a different complaint. We're looking at Craig Breslow right now with what he has. These are the orders given to him. You can go yell at ownership all you want. That's fine. But Craig Breslow has to work within what he has. So if you sign Teoscar, $15, $16 million, that puts the Red Sox payroll right around probably like a little under 220. The Red Sox probably don't want to go above 230, right? That's probably what I'm thinking. Now, you only have this amount of room. So then you get back to the argument. Well, okay, now you can go trade Kenley. What if they couldn't? What if there was a team that didn't want him? What if there was a team maybe they had lined up or they could have lined up and they say, hey, you know what? We're actually going to go after this guy instead. Or, it's not a slam dunk. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, you're probably going to be able to trade Jansen, but what if you couldn't? What if there was a team that didn't want him? What if there was a team that maybe wanted him and they wanted you to eat more of the salary to where it's like, what's even the point? You can't make a move before the other move, right? You got to clear the space first and then do the move, right? If there was a team that wanted Kenley Jansen, they would have already gotten him. You know why a team doesn't want Kenley Jansen? And this is where the baseball economic side comes into play. Jansen was underwater on his contract last year. He was paid $16 million, and he was only worth $8 million. Why would a team want to take on an aging Kenley Jansen when he was worth half of what he was paid? Why? Tell me why. Why would a team want to do that? They wouldn't want to do that. That's like saying, like, you're taking a used car off of someone and they still owe payments. It's like, well, no, I don't want that. So I got to still make payments on it. No, you don't do that. You don't do it. So with Jansen, they're probably going to have to eat some of that salary. And they probably have not found a good enough suitor yet. Or they've maybe had suitors, but they've probably not been able to agree on how much money of the contract to pay. They're going to have to pay some of it. And we got to start thinking about this stuff. We got to start looking at the economic side of things, right? You might not think that way. I know I didn't used to think that way, and I'm not saying I know everything. But this is how front offices think. You could think of it as like, oh, this player's really good, so yeah, you can go trade him for this player. It's not like that. It's not. You have to look at the salaries. You have to look at the projections of their numbers for next year, right? There's so many things that go into play. It's not black and white like you think. It's not just trading Kenley and then you're done, right? It's not like that, right? We got to stop making comments like that. So for the Red Sox, if they could have traded Kenley, would they, if they had gotten his salary off the books, could they have done this? I don't know. I don't think I want to pay Teoscar Hernandez $23 million. I know some of it's deferred, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the Red Sox would do. Would they pay $15 million and then defer like 8 of it? I don't know if that's something they would do. Beats me. But now I can, and I've been seeing a lot of Red Sox fans also complaining as well, saying, why aren't they willing to go more than 2 years? Well, now I think we can all start to maybe backtrack a little bit on that, where the Dodgers gave him 1. So really, how many 3-year deals was he getting that were good enough? How many 4-year deals? Did he even get a 4-year offer? I would probably say no. I guarantee probably other teams were not willing to go above 2. But then Red Sox fans are out here complaining they don't want to go over 2 years for Teoscar. Well, he just got 1. So what does that say? I don't know. I'm just saying. But where do the Red Sox go from here? Where do they go? Well, now we can go to the free agent tracker. So this is where I think there's a couple of ways that the Red Sox can go here. You could either go after another right-handed hitting outfielder let's do the outfield. You can go after Michael Taylor. I know that's not the sexiest name out there. He did have some pop last year. He's going to bring you some defense. You could do that. This is where I think it gets interesting, everyone. This is where I think it gets interesting. You know what I think the Red Sox could very well do? I don't know if they do it, but you know what I think they could do? Getting back to Jansen, right? You could definitely trade Jansen. You could definitely do that. But I wonder, now I could see some Red Sox fans maybe getting on to me about this one. I wonder if maybe the Masataka Yoshida trade talks possibly heat up. Because the Red Sox need a right-handed bat. They need a right-handed bat for the middle of this order. You don't let me backtrack a little. I don't think you necessarily need it, but I think it would be helpful, right? Alex Cora does not like to have lefty, lefty, lefty. He does not like that. He likes righties in there to break up the lefties. He likes a lefty to break up the righties. That's what Alex Cora likes. I wonder if they actually move Yoshida, clear payroll right there, right? Maybe they eat a little bit of it. Trade Jansen. Save as much money on that as you can. Jansen right now, I would probably say you're around like $3 to $5 million underwater on that contract. So you're probably going to have to eat a good, maybe like $5 to $7 million, or maybe up to $8 million, right? And maybe save yourself maybe like $8 to $10 million on the payroll. They're going to have to pay some of it, or attach a prospect. I see them paying. You could trade Jansen. You could trade Yoshida. I'm not saying I want to trade Yoshida. I'm just thinking realistically. And Red Sox fans can argue with me. I'm thinking in terms of what the front office is thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not saying I want to trade Yoshida. I love Yoshida. The guy's awesome. But the way I could see the front office thinking is you trade Yoshida, you trade Jansen, you go get a right-handed bat, maybe like a Jorge Soler, right? Because they need a right-handed bat, in my opinion. And then you still got a lefty like Wilyer Abreu in the mix. However, I could still just see the Red Sox also just going after Michael Taylor, right? I could see that. That's the fallback option. But if you really wanted to get creative, you could unload the salaries of Yoshida and Jansen. That's probably going to save you maybe around like $25 million after you've eaten some of the money so you can get enough value back. And then that could be money to go get yourself a right-handed bat like Soler. And then you would still have enough money to go get pitching. That's the big thing. And I need, and yes, Josh Bricker, I see you in the chat saying Ceddanne Rafaela. The thing with Ceddanne Rafaela right now, though, is you can't really just throw him in there, right, and expect results right away. You know what I mean? I love Ceddanne. I do. I like Ceddanne Rafaela. I think he's going to be a very fun, energetic player. But he needs to really work on the plate discipline right now. I could very well see him starting the year at AAA, right, and just kind of working on those things a little bit. He's still very young, right? So there's definitely a lot of work that can be done with Ceddanne Rafaela. So I see what you're saying, though, with the right-handed bat. However, when it comes to a right-handed bat for the Red Sox that's ready now, right, what it does by trading Yoshida, not saying I want to, and Jansen, that clears up a good amount of money to add a right-handed bat because you still have lefty bats on this roster. And then you can use the money that they have right now, right? So they'd be creating payroll space by trading those two, get a right-handed bat that you would be ideal for the lineup, for the middle of the order, like Jorge Soler, and then you're back to where you are right now. Let's say you sign Soler. Your payroll's back to what it is now, around there, and then you could go after Shota Imanaga, perhaps, and then you can go trade for a starter, right? A cost-controlled starter. It's going to be cheaper, right? I'm telling you, I'm really wondering what the Red Sox do here. I think this changes a lot of things. It's going to get interesting, right? What do they do? What exactly do they do now? I think the big thing, this is where, again, getting back to Jansen, I know I'm rambling. I'm going to wrap this up. But getting back to Jansen, I do find it surprising because it's only 1 year of Jansen. Why is it he's been in the rumor mill now for like over a week? Why is it taking so long to trade him? Why wouldn't a team can we think of this for a second? Why hasn't a team jumped on Kenley Jansen? Like, it's 1 year. He's a veteran closer. Why wouldn't a team want Kenley Jansen? That, I think, says something. Right? So, we'll see. We'll see. And maybe, the teams that are looking for relievers right now, maybe they're looking at other options, like Hader or maybe Clase, right? Better closers, right? So Jansen right now, I feel like it's pretty clear that teams are like they're not like, oh man, Kenley Jansen, we got to go get this guy. It's very evident that's not the case, right? Because he would have been gone by now. He popped up in rumor mills like 2 weeks ago. So why isn't he traded yet? It's 1 year. So clearly something's up there. And this is where I do think you maybe could see some stuff start to heat up a little bit, right? Because the Red Sox, now that a righty bat is off the market, it feels like they got to start moving here. And I'm very curious to see what they do. And this isn't me being hopeful. This is me just being logical at the end of the day. Like, they have to do something, right? Because you still need to really add pieces to this team. There's a lot to go with the Red Sox. Just because they didn't get Teoscar Hernandez, I wouldn't get all doom and gloom about it necessarily. So we'll see what ends up happening with the Red Sox. If they were to trade Yoshida, let's actually dive into this. I'm actually going to be doing a video on Masataka Yoshida trade ideas. People are going to be thinking I'm crazy. Red Sox fans are going to hate it. I can't make everyone happy. So what would it take to trade? I'll pull up even Jansen here for those of you that don't know, really what it would take. right? And this is what I mean by the underwater salary, right? Jansen right now is negative $2 million according to BTV, right? So I could see, the Red Sox, they pay like maybe $5 million, maybe up to like $7 million, so that way they can get like something decent in return, right? But for Yoshida, you're looking at right a surplus of 3.3. He has good projections for next year. So remember, the way they come up with the surplus, the way they come up with the trade value surplus, this is not a rating of the player. It takes the salary and the player's performance, right? You look at the field value, what is he giving you on the field, and then you subtract the salary. He's making $18 million per year. You subtract that from what he's giving you on the field. That's the value in dollars, right? And then they're spitting out that he's worth right around $4 million with his salary. You could pay down some of that salary each year. Maybe you send a team $3 million, $4 million per year. So let's say you did a trade. What's a fun team? I did a Phillies example. This is another idea I came up with. I saw a lot of Phillies fans hate it, which I can understand. But looking at, let's say I sent Yoshida to the Phillies, right? It would only cost, as of right now, with his salary, the Phillies would only have to send back like a couple mid-level, low-level prospects. That's really all it would take. But let's say the Red Sox, they sent over, he's got 4 years left, $72 million. They say, okay, we'll pay $3 million a season for the next 4 years, so $12 million, right? So if you throw in $12 million, that's going to give the Red Sox more of a, more room here to get back some value, right? So that way you're not just dumping the salary, but you're able to get something back in return. So this is where I could see the Red Sox doing it. Even if they pay some of it, they're still in a pretty good spot because they wouldn't have to pay a lot of it to get something back. All right. I came up with an idea. Maybe you could swap Castellanos and Yoshida. Maybe the Phillies can attach something to Castellanos because his contract is very underwater. The Red Sox get a right-handed bat, and then, maybe you could do something like that. So Yoshida is going to be interesting here, I think, in the next couple of days. I could be very well wrong. We'll see. But anyway, let's move on from this. Let's talk about the Yankees. And let's get away from Teoscar Hernandez here. I felt like I just talked about him for like an hour. Goodness gracious, I think I did. Let's talk about the Yankees, right? This is where we started the show tonight. Chris Cotillo, I swear, Chris Cotillo, when he put stuff out about the Red Sox, I feel like I said it like 2 days ago. Chris Cotillo, you reading my tweets? Here we go. Yankees interested in Jesus Luzardo and Shane Bieber. This is where we were at the beginning of the show. Bob Nightingale, Sunday article, he put out that he predicts the Yankees will add another arm, and the Yankees have also had discussions for Jesus Luzardo of the Marlins and Shane Bieber of the Guardians. Well, right off the bat, I will tell you it's going to be a lot more expensive to go get Jesus Luzardo than it would be to get Shane Bieber. And then there was also something here from John Heyman today. He said that they have been connected with Dylan Cease through trade, as well as Blake Snell in free agency. I honestly think the Blake Snell thing is a leverage play, to be completely honest. The Yankees' payroll is already so high. Could it be the Yankees? Let's be real about this one. Could it be the Yankees maybe trying to drive up the price for Blake Snell so he doesn't go to the Red Sox? Just saying. I could see the Yankees doing that. Right? Oh, hey, man, we like what you got. What are you thinking? Right? Because teams do that all the time. They make calls. They try to, say, hey, we like him too. Right? Let's try and drive up the price so the other team doesn't get him. All right? That's happened plenty of times. So, Zach G, Robbie Howell said he will go over the luxury tax. Well, how far is he willing to go? You got to take that into account too. That's what I said about the Mets. That's what I said about the Mets, right? Mets were, how far were they willing to go for Yamamoto? They definitely were there at the end, but why didn't they go 350? I don't know. You could have maybe gone a little bit more for Yamamoto if you really wanted him, right? But maybe he was already going to the Dodgers. So, but I wonder how far are the Yankees willing to go? Is it really good spending when, it's not just about spending the money, it's how you're spending your money. You just signed Rodon last offseason. I'm not saying, listen, if the Yankees signed Snell, hey, good for them. Good for them. In all honesty, good for them. But is Cashman going to want to spend big bucks on Snell after you just spent big bucks on Rodon last offseason? Snell's been injury prone in the last few years. He doesn't go very deep into games. Will the Yankees value that? I'm just looking at it, again, sure, they could definitely go get him. I'm just looking at it from a point of view. Where do the Yankees think it's a good value? That's all I'm saying. Maybe a short-term deal. I could see that. Maybe, if Blake Snell wants to do a short-term deal. Well, we'll see. But the Yankees, and also from John Heyman today, he says that there's a belief that the Yankees will land someone significant to aid their rotation before the season. Now, I'm not saying, so Zach G, I'm going to get back to you. I'm not saying that the Yankees won't add a starter. I just wonder if they feel like, is it going to be better to go sign Snell for $25-30 million a year? Or maybe go on the trade market, get a cost-controlled guy that's going to be cheaper but bring you good value. Now, if you take a look at the Yankees as of right now, rotation, honestly, I think if you went into the season with this rotation as is, I don't think it's like you're not in the worst position of all time. Like, I know Rodon really soured a lot of people last year, but get him right. Clark Schmidt, he took a step forward last year. Can he get even better? Nestor Cortez, healthy year coming up, regular offseason, regular spring training. Let's get him back to some better numbers. So, but you could add someone here, right? You got Clayton Beeter projected for the 5 spot, or maybe someone else in spring training could win the final spot. However, the Yankees, if they really wanted to, they could thrust themselves into the trade market. Let's talk Shane Bieber, right? Shane Bieber would not cost a lot, and you would only have him for 1 year. So the Yankees, I could see the intrigue there. If Bieber is feeling good and everything is good to go, then yeah, Bieber for 1 year, you could go get him, and it really wouldn't cost you all that much. Now, I just threw something together. I'm not saying this is the trade or if Yankee fans would even want to do something like this. But I threw just something together really quick for just the purpose of it, just to talk about it. Shane Bieber, 4, Clayton Beeter, and Oswaldo Cabrera, right? 2 young players for the Guardians to get back. Could they do something like that, right? Now, I'm not saying that's what it has to be. I just threw a couple of pieces, right? I could see Yankee fans out there saying, are you kidding me? Oswaldo Cabrera, we can't give him up. Clayton Beeter, we can't give him up. I could see Yankee fans saying this. Whatever. But if you wanted to go get Shane Bieber, you could go get something done. Or could you go a little more crazy? Could you go after Jesus Luzardo? All right. Hey, Jesus Luzardo, he's already clean shaven. He's already ready for the Yankee pinstripes. He doesn't got to shave. Just saying. Well, Shane Bieber too, right? Shane Bieber, has he had a beard before? I can't remember. Has Shane Bieber had a beard? I feel like he has. I could be wrong. I don't know. But Jesus Luzardo, I just put together a quick one. Could you do Jesus Luzardo for Spencer Jones, Oswald Peraza, and Clayton Beeter. Send back a picture. Maybe add in another piece. Maybe a couple more pieces. Maybe another high-value piece, right? Now, I know a lot of Yankee fans out there don't want to give up Spencer Jones. I know that. I'm just saying, if the Marlins want bats. They want bats in that system, right? So, if you said, hey, we'll give you Spencer Jones, I could see the Marlins looking at that. Take a look at Spencer Jones, right? Last year, he was all right. Had a 780 OPS overall in high A. And then in double A, he had a 739 over 17 games. Overall, he had 16 home runs. Guy struck out a lot, though. He struck out 155 times compared to 49 walks. I don't know. Yankee fans, how do we feel about Spencer Jones? How do we feel about him? I know he's drawn comparisons to Aaron Judge, like from the left side, because he's a big guy. He's got pretty solid numbers for his grades. Yankee fans, how do we feel about Spencer Jones? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. I don't know. Based off those numbers, I don't know. If I could go get Jesus Luzardo for the next 3 years. I mean, come on. Are we really going to base this off of, I see you in the chat. Look at the stolen base numbers. I mean, come on. I know. I get it. He can be all around. I get it. Come on. Come on. I mean, the way the rules are now, you can get stolen bases from guys. I wouldn't be. Come on. That can't be a deal breaker. Come on. Is that really a deal breaker? That's just me. I don't know. Am I going to rub people the wrong way if I say Spencer Jones is possibly a little overrated? Sorry. I don't know. I just want to see, a bit of a better slash line a little bit. Maybe less strikeouts. I don't know. I feel like Yankee fans, no hate here. No hate. I'm just saying. I don't know. If he had maybe a 900 OPS last year, I know he did pretty good in 22. I know those numbers are solid. A-ball, he had a 900 OPS. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I could get Jesus Luzardo and they said you got to give us Spencer Jones, I'm doing that every day. You can hate me all you want for that. I guarantee someone's going to be in my comments and they're going to say something about that. I would do this. But the advantage, you are right about that. William Reap, everyone overhypes their prospects. Matt, maybe you're right. Robbie just scared for when Jones nukes at Fenway. You could be very well right there. Maybe I am. Maybe it's my subconscious talking to me saying, please get rid of Spencer Jones. Could it be that? It's very possible. It's very possible. The one advantage the Yankees do have, they do have a young shortstop in Oswald Peraza. The Marlins could use someone like that. So that could be someone they can just throw in, right? He hasn't really done all that much for the Yankees as of right now. He's basically blocked at shortstop. He's not playing shortstop. So at this point, you got Glaber at second. I mean, you could play him at third. But I think at this point, I think the Yankees have a good advantage, at least to me, because they have a young shortstop that they could do. Dude, if I could get Jesus Luzardo for Peraza, Jones, Beeter, and I don't know, Carlos Legrand. I can't pronounce the name. Carlos Legrand. Is that how you say it? Or Omar Gonzalez. I'm doing that. I don't know. That's just me. But I think the Yankees, in all honesty, I think they could. I think they could add a starting pitcher. Absolutely. Right? They could get Bieber for cheap if they wanted him. And let's be real. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. I'm not trying to get on to you. But you have a history of trading for guys that just end up getting hurt. Frankie Montas, anyone? This is the same exact situation right here with Luis Castillo, Frankie Montas. Maybe it could be. You could go get a guy in Jesus Luzardo who was the equivalent of Luis Castillo, or you could just settle for someone that's been injury prone. I could honestly see the Yankees doing this. Brian Cashman, he sees Luis Castillo right there. He could get him. He could get a deal done. Luis Castillo going to carry you to the promised land. Cole, Castillo, 1-2 punch. But then Brian Cashman ever so slightly turns to Frankie Montas, who has a bum shoulder. He says, I want that guy. That's the guy I want. I want the bum shoulder. Let's go get him. Yankee fans, you can't argue with me because that's exactly what happened. So, anyway, the Yankees can definitely get something done. I would imagine they do add something at some point. At one point, it looked like maybe that one guy could have been Shota Imanaga. I know I just talked about Imanaga just a little bit ago. Let me close out some tabs. I feel like I'm getting a little confused here. There's really not a whole lot on Imanaga at this point. I mean, John Morosi, I don't know, man. I don't understand these tweets from Morosi. Like this guy, Ben, said right here, how is this news? Ben, I agree. How is this news? John Morosi, what are we doing? I'm told Shota Imanaga continues to draw interest from at least 5 teams. Well, I could say it is maybe a little bit of news, right? We had a tweet earlier from, I don't know where my tweet just went. What just happened? I don't know where my tweet just went. Oh, here we go. What is happening? Here we go. Okay. From the Yaku Cosmopolitan. This is they cover Japanese baseball. Great account, by the way. If you're into the Japanese baseball, great account. But they say here, with the deadline approaching, expect Imanaga as well as Uwasawa to make a decision in the next 48 hours or so. Naoki, is it Naoyuki? Naoyuki? I'm going to say Naoyuki Uwasawa to make a decision in the next 48 hours or so. He says Giants, Angels, Cubs, Red Sox, maybe Dodgers, maybe Mets. Here's what I'm thinking about this when it comes to Imanaga. Okay, so I did a tweet today. By the way, if there's anyone in here, if you're not following me on X, hey, go follow me. I'm always putting just random stuff on there. So if you want to go see my random potato brain just posting stuff, go check it out. Go follow me on there. But I was kind of thinking about these teams, right? Thinking about these teams. So you got the Giants, you got the Angels, you got the Cubs, you got the Red Sox. And as well, there was, let me pull up the Jim Bowden tweet. He actually, you never know about Mr. Jim. You never know. But, whatever. He's got stuff sometimes. So he put this out, right? He said the other day that the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Angels, and the Giants are finalists. So, we basically got the same thing. Right now, I'm going to count out the Mets because they ended up signing Sean Manaea. I think the Mets basically just went the cheaper route. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. So I'm going to count the Mets out. The Dodgers, I think the Dodgers are basically just like, yeah, we're here. We're spending money on everyone, so we'll give you this if you want it. So I would probably say the Dodgers are not in it. If the Dodgers land freaking Shota Imanaga, I'm done. I'm done. So that leaves the Giants, the Angels, the Cubs, and the Red Sox. The Giants, they just got Robbie Ray. And there were some comments. Let me pull up those comments too. I thought I had them pulled up. So there was something from Farhan Zaidi where he, after making the trade for Robbie Ray, it says here that, I'm trying to find the exact quote. It says, we have had conversations with his representation, and there's still a few things we're looking at on that side. Wouldn't want to get more specific than that. Obviously, he's done a nice job in Japan, and it's a pretty active free agent market. He went on, and then he also, there was another comment. He basically said that they're trying to focus on other parts of the team, which pretty much made it sound like they weren't really going to go after him hard, right? So it said here, again, he said we've had conversations and whatnot. I'm trying to find the exact tweet or the exact comment. There was a tweet. Trying to find where that tweet was. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, but basically, the Giants seems like they're probably out of it now that they got Robbie Ray. The Cubs, I don't know what's going on with the Cubs. The Cubs, from what I read, it seemed there was a report out there that the Cubs aren't really interested in giving him that much money. I don't know. So maybe the Cubs are out of it. So that would leave the Red Sox and the Angels. Well, the Angels, what's going to happen there? Are they going to hold on for Snell? In my opinion, I guess just looking at it from a perception point of view, if I'm the Angels, I want to try and make a good signing. I'm not saying Imanaga can't be a good signing, but I would think for the Angels' sake, I think they need a starting pitcher one. That's what I think. They need something for the top of the rotation. And to me, Blake Snell is that guy. Could they bring in Marcus Stroman? Why not? I thought Marcus Stroman could have been a good fit a couple of years ago. Could Marcus Stroman be that guy? Right? I would think the Angels probably need to go more for a 1 instead of Imanaga, who's more of like a 3, 4, maybe even a 5 in a rotation. I've warmed up to Imanaga a little bit. I think he could end up being like a Nestor Cortez type. I'd be okay with bringing him in if he's, your middle back end of the rotation kind of a guy. I'm okay with that. But I don't want him, I'm not going to be counting on that guy to be, carrying me to a World Series, right? I think if, according to people in Japan, right, this is a guy that absolutely, go back to the World Baseball Classic, they were very comfortable handing him the ball in the final, right, against the United States. So he's a guy that I think you can count on if you gave him the ball. I think he'll be fine. I'm not going to say he's going to be like a 2 ERA, like 2.5, even a 3 ERA. I would expect like a 4 to like a 4.5 ERA, maybe a FIP around the 4s, like 8, 9 strikeouts per 9. Something like that. I think that is attainable just because of the shape on the fastball. He is a little shorter at 5'10". The way he releases the ball and the extension that he has on the ball, it creates a certain shape to it where it makes it a little bit more deceptive. So there is that. He has like that unique looking fastball despite the velocity. That was something that held me back on him a little bit, was the velocity. I still think there's a very good chance it could end up not working out, but he has off-speed stuff too. He has a good mix of pitches, right? He's got a slider, sweeper, he's got a change up there, splitter, right? So he is going to have to adjust to the major league game as well as not just the hitters, but the ball, right? It's a little less tacky than it is in Japan, so there's going to be some adjustments. So I see him as more of like a 3, 4, 5 in a rotation. So this leaves the Red Sox, where the Red Sox, they need a 1-2. But the Red Sox are in a much better position to also go make a trade than the Angels are. The Red Sox have prospects they could deal. Oh, can you imagine right now the Red Sox Jesus Luzardo. Do you know how half of Red Sox Twitter would burn if they got Jesus Luzardo? You know why? If they got rid of Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony, or even Kyle Teal, half of Red Sox Twitter would burn to the ground, right? They would complain, oh my gosh, we got rid of our prospects. Like, I made a meme the other day, and I wanted to post it, and I was like, you know what? I don't feel like Red Sox fans is getting on to me today. I don't feel like it. What was this tweet what was this meme that I created? It was like someone, like, it was from Breaking Bad, right? You got Walter in the car when the scene where he's screaming, right? And then I put next to it, I said, the Red Sox fans would basically be saying, go get a starting pitcher. And then the next picture, it's Craig Breslow smiling. Okay, I'll go get Jesus Luzardo. And then the next picture is Walter again screaming, no, not that guy. Or no, why are you giving away prospects? So it's like, you can never make anyone happy. Right? If Craig Breslow goes out and gets a starting pitcher like Jesus Luzardo or even Dylan Cease, and you give up a good prospect, half of Red Sox Twitter is still going to go crazy over it. And it's like, do you want to win? What do you want to do? Like, everyone's, got Red Sox fans crying because they want to win, but then you got them crying because they want to give up talent. Well, go get pieces where you don't have to give up prospects. Okay, how about you go do it? You go do it. You go take Craig Breslow's job, and since it's so easy, why don't you go take his job and you go do it? If it's that easy, go call Craig Breslow himself. Hey, man, I think you can go get this guy without having to give up the pieces. If it's so easy, go call the Red Sox right now. Hey, can I talk to Craig, please? I think he can go get someone without having to give up one piece or one of the top three pieces. I think he would gladly listen to you, right? Because I think he would also say, okay, tell me how I can go do that. You have to talk with the other teams. This is not MLB The Show. This is not where you override the system on MLB The Show. You have to deal with the other teams. If the other team wants something, well, it takes two to tango. I'm just saying. It's just like, and no, Zach G, I'll be honest with you. I see you in the chat. It's not that they're having a bad offseason. It's just that, like, no matter what, you can't make anyone happy, right? You say, go get this guy. Well, you can't. Right? Unless you go give up a guy. Well, okay, we don't want to do that either. Well, what do you want? What do you want? It's like me when I was a little kid, and it's like my mom would be like, okay, what do you want to eat? I want McDonald's. Okay, I want chicken nuggets. Let's say they're out of chicken nuggets. Well, it's like, well, I don't want it now. Or it's like, well, you got to eat something. Right? So I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Anyway, so Imanaga, my point is I think the Red Sox are a better fit for Imanaga because they could afford him, but they could also go use prospects to try and at least go get a starting pitcher one, right? So I think the Red Sox are in a better position than the Angels are, unless the Angels say, you know what? We don't care about Blake Snell anymore. We don't know what he's doing. We don't know what Scott Boras is doing. Forget it. Let's just go after Imanaga, right? I'm just saying. So it's going to be interesting. If the Red Sox don't get Imanaga, again, Red Sox Twitter is going to burn to the ground. And I saw something interesting in the chat. Someone said Trevor Bauer to the Angels. I wouldn't mind. I think that'd be I thought Trevor Bauer should have went to the Angels a couple of years ago. I thought that would have been really fun. But we actually do have a sponsor for tonight, and that is BetUS. So with BetUS right now, there's a whole ton of different ways to place some bets. And to everyone, I'm going to be honest with you. I made a bet. Everyone. I did it. I actually dropped one the other day. I dropped one on the NL MVP. So right now, you got a whole ton of different ways to play, but make sure you do play responsibly. Fernando Tatis Jr. right now is plus 1,200 for MVP. I'm going to be honest with you. I threw a little something down. I got Fernando Tatis Jr. absolutely winning that MVP in the NL. I'm going for it. I'm already telling you my prediction for the NL MVP. I think he's going to have a monster year. I put a little bet down on Fernando Tatis Jr., and I think I'm going to win some money. I'm going to be honest with you. So, but you also have AL MVP, right? You got a whole ton of different ways. Stat leaders right now. You got specials. All right, what's the Dodgers special right now? Let's go see what this is. What is this? NL MVP winner. Oh, okay, never mind. So so it's the same thing we were just looking at. So you could bet on possibly, a Dodgers player, right? Shohei Ohtani winning the MVP, maybe Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, right? So there's a whole ton of different ways to play with baseball right now. You can even pick the World Series winner as of right now. If you didn't want to go for baseball, you got football, you got basketball, you got hockey, right? Football playoffs are coming up, so that's definitely going to ramp up a little bit. So go check out the football ones. Basketball, we got that going on every day. My Celtics are looking pretty good last time I checked. You can even do martial arts, right? You got live betting, you got casino, you got the race books, and there's even Bet US TV. Hey, I go on there on Fridays and we just talk the latest in sports, and we're just hanging out. So go check that out too on Fridays. But everyone, the link is in the description down below. You get a 125% bonus just by clicking on that link. So go check it out, or a 125% bonus on your first deposit, right? So go check it out, but please make sure you play responsibly. So